trust and hospital. These two words are quite similar, and people who are starting a hospital sometimes are confused that whether the hospital should be made under a trust, under a society, what is a society, what is a trust, and what are the pluses and minuses of it. Because blindly if you try to make a trust and later regret, it is not good. You should always have a proper concept of what is a trust and what is a society. So Amit, can you throw some light on it?
Yeah, sure. So many doctors in our community also talk about they want to start their hospital in a trust.
Yeah.
And we always ask, what is your mission and why do you want that trust and all this thing. And a lot of people say that the reason of us choosing a trust or society or any other this kind of format rather than having a LLP or private limited is to save tax. There are a lot of tax exemption clauses which can be exploited under IT Act. So this is a kind of misnomer or a kind of myth also. Yes, there are some clauses which can be useful, but if you are using in a way which is not according to law, it can create a problem also. So let's discuss what exactly the trust is, what exactly the society is, and what is their comparison, and how we should actually go with a trust and what, right? Because the thing is also correct. Okay, a lot of big hospitals, like you can take any big hospital from Jamnalal or Hinduja or whatever the big hospitals like Gangaram. In Bombay there are a lot of hospitals. Everyone has open under trust. So all doctors has this perception that going in a trust is good way of doing it. So let's explore it. So trust and society both are a type of NGO. Okay, so these are non-profit organizations or non-government organizations. They comes under non-profit NPO, non-profit organizations. Now, trust is the oldest structure when it comes for a charitable purpose. If you remember in the older India before independence, there are a lot of people who used to do charitable purposes. A lot of Seths and a lot of big industrialists.
Big businessmen and then
yes, in every city used to have a big Seth who donate a land and everything. So for them this structure was made so that land, money, loans, whatever they can be get easily. Those are the purpose, and because since you are taking a loan from a person or taking a land from a person, you don't want him to be threatened by a law. So some leeway was given, and that was a kind of mindset with which trust was made, and hence there was some lot of tax exemption as well, a little bit of leeway in terms of tax rebate and all these things. That was the assumption. Now what exactly the trust is? It is an arrangement between parties where one party hold ownership over the property of on behalf of another person for the benefit of third person. Okay, so for example, one person is your author of trustee, then trustee, and the third is beneficiary. So author of trust is what? Who donates something. So maybe land, money, whatever, building, anything. So that person is author of trust, and then there is a group of person who are managing that property for the benefit of a third person is called trustee, and finally the beneficiary for whom.
So basically trustee does not give any benefit for the author, but it is for the beneficiary's use.
Yes, it is for the beneficiary, and trustee is only to manage those things, and then they can take their salaries or kind of employee benefits, but they can't own the property. Ownership still remains with the author of the trust.
And profit also they have to reinvest. So profit, they can't take away the profit. They have to reinvest in the same cause which they have started. Okay, so now trust is established and governed under Indian Trust Act 1882, except in few states like Gujarat and Maharashtra, which had their own state laws. And because Maharashtra has their own law, there are a lot of other leeways, other tax exemption which was exploited by a lot of industrialists. Then coming to the society is also a kind of NGO, but it is little bit of more legal structure to it. Okay, it is formed when a collection of people come together for a common charitable purpose, but it is not limited to charitable purpose. It can extend to multiple other fields. For example, if I and you are very passionate about football, and we want the football to grow in the slums of Mumbai, then it can be made under society. It's just not a charitable purpose, it is for other purposes but having a noble cause. Okay, and it comes under Society Registration Act 1880, and this has a more legal structure. The openness in terms of filing and all this thing is little bit more than trust, and so it has it is when people want much more transparency in their way of doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's discuss about the comparison of trust and society. If you see, the registration authority in terms of trust is deputy registrar of the state or charity commissioner if the central law applies, and in society it is registrar or deputy registrar of the particular state in which is to be registered. The minimum members required is 2 trustee, at least 2 trustees required, and here 7 members are required minimum. Eligibility for family members, this is very important, and that is how every hospital, big industrial hospital in Mumbai is because of the trust. Why? Because the family members can
become a eligible member.
Yes, they can become a trustee also.
But not in the society.
But not in the society. The member of the same family cannot be member in the society. Okay, so that is a very important distinction. And annual compliances is like there is no mandatory yearly compliance to be made by trust. You don't have to submit your tax thing or whatever, your books to the income tax or any other. The society must file a list of name, occupation, address of managing society, members of society to register annually. So there is a little bit of more compliance here. Transparency, again, in the both there is low, and trust it is almost nil. And legal rights of property is held by trustee. Again, this is the reason why people big industries go for the trust, and this is held in the name of society. Okay, so these are comparison. Now, when to consider what? Okay, when to consider forming a trust? In case more than one family member is running the business, like for example Anil Ambani and Mukesh Ambani, two sons are there and the property is one, so they can form a trust. Okay, if you want to have trust to hold office for a lifetime without the need of election, so there is in trust there is no election and nothing. Once it is they are trustee, they become a lifetime trustee. And so if you want that kind of setup, then go for trust. Privacy in the activity has a flexibility in the division of benefits. So you don't want to publish in the books and how money are exchanged, so you can go for the trust. When to consider forming a society? If it is an ideal organization body, if you want an elected body to manage, there is always an election after a few years, 6 years, 5 years, whatever they have chosen, and there is a elected body to manage it. And if you want your members to not to be born lifetime, and the society allows a easy exit to the members. Okay, and society is easy to wind up as compared to the trust.
Okay,
so this is the when to consider trust or society. Now, what is the recommendation? Whether one should go with the trust society or private limited if in case of hospital or a polyclinic. Now, it depends on mission.
Yeah.
If your objective is to earn profit, and given the fact that you feel that there is a lot of tax exemption in the trust and society laws, but your objective is to earn profit, which is okay, which is fine thing, because you are doing a noble purpose. You should be compensated for your skills. That is always a good thing. But if your objective, long term objective is to make profit and earn money, then I think we should go with a private limited form rather than going in trust. Because if you go to trust, you can't take out the money. Okay, and for taking out the money, you have to go roundabout lateral ways, which is not a good way, because right now income tax authority and every other person knows how the trust is functioning and why a person has made trust in the hospital. So the scrutiny has increased. There are a lot of problems. People will ask for the corruption money and all these things. So don't go in that route if you are not your focus is on your earning profit, right? So that is one thing. Another thing, if really your mission is charitable, right, you want to help people, and you have some benefactor who can give you a large piece of land or money or building, then obviously please go with the trust, because it is the best form of doing charitable, because no questions are asked, and a lot of helps is given by the government as well. So that depends on your mission. Don't mix match. If you going for a trust because you want a tax exemption, it comes with a cost.
It makes it more messy.
Yeah, it makes it more messy. If you are okay with to deal with that kind of mess, then you can do it. But we will not recommend. We don't recommend to our community members by doing this thing. Yes, if you are really okay with charitable thing and you want your mission in the life is for charitable purpose, then please go with the trust and society. So good. A lot of concepts are clear now.
Now a lot of things must be clear, and take a call. Don't go just by a herd mentality. I have seen a lot of in the doctor community. My senior has gone with a trust, my junior has going with trust, or my peer has gone with a trust, and so should I. You have just seen that what a kind of structure they have gone, but what are the disadvantage, or what are the pain they are going through, you never know. So take your own decision. Now you know the fundamentals of trust and society. Okay, thank you. Keep watching this channel. There will be a lot of good stuff will be coming up. Thank you.